mutt. It's not going to be that good of an intro anyway. Anyway, let's just start over. All right, these are the batter upgrades for the roster update on June 3rd. We got 7 guys like we did last week. Just to review last week, because these all still stand. They all still deserve an upgrade. Odubel Herrera, Leonis Martin. Yes, he's hurt, but he just got hurt, and if they're a couple weeks behind, there's no reason he shouldn't still get his upgrade. Marcell Ozuna, Christian Yelich, Jackie Bradley Jr., Ian Kinsler, and Todd Frazier. Not only are all of them deserving of an upgrade if they're still a few weeks behind, obviously, but even in the interim, they've continued to rake. So let's just let's keep them on the radar, but we don't need to go through their updates again. Obviously, you can see the video from last week to see the upgrades that I gave them. If you hate the Boston Red Sox, you might want to skip ahead a little bit because the first 3 guys are from their team. And let's start with the man of the hour. This is being made on the night of June 1st into the morning of June 2nd. So Mookie Betts had another 2-homer game after his 3-homer game yesterday. Now, that's not necessarily going to be reflected right away because, again, that just happened. However, he deserves an upgrade before that. So don't even need to necessarily go crazy on the power metrics to reflect that. Like the 5 homers isn't even just what he needs for the power upgrade. He needed a power upgrade before that. But anyway, let's start with the contact. Contact versus left, I've got going down actually because he's struggling against lefties when it comes to making contact. He's got a 125 average, but a 15% strikeout rate and 40 BABIP, a 0.40 BABIP says he's being unlucky. So they might not drop it a lot, but they got to drop it some. We've seen them drop guys in key categories. We could definitely see a drop there. So I'm bumping that down to 82. However, I'm bumping this one up to 82. Because honestly, if you look at his career marks, and of course this year, 308 average, 14% K rate, 14% strikeout rate is really fucking good. Anything below 20% in today's game is a good strikeout rate. A lot of guys, a lot of your key sluggers are 25% or higher. Some of them are pushing 30%. So for him to be at 14%, he's actually for his career, he's at 12%. And it's just ridiculous. So honestly, his contact versus righties and lefties should be dead even. Look at the career numbers. Career 290 versus righties, career 290 versus lefties. Career 12% strikeout versus lefties, 14% strikeout versus righties. So there you go. It should be 82-82 for both of them. Now let's get to the power. I got the right going all the way up to 72 right now. And again, this is before the 5 homers. They could probably do another update a week after this. Maybe they could just bundle it all in, and I don't know. They're not consistent, right? We do know that one thing is that they're not necessarily a method to the whole madness of, okay, this is exactly 2 weeks behind, or this is exactly 10 days behind, etc. And so I moved the power up. He's got 11 of his homers against righties. He's raking them. And I still have this up at 63 against lefties for his power because even though he's got that 125 average, he still has a 281 ISO on 3 homers. So he's still raking. Anything over a 200 ISO, which is isolated average, which is just slugging minus batting average, it's just a shorthand for power. Anything for a guy like him over 180 is good. Over 200 is awesome. So to be at 281 is pretty substantial. So it deserves a little bit of a power upgrade. And that's all I did on Mookie right now. I probably could have upped. What's link protection? I probably could have upped the discipline, but I didn't. I think we'll just leave it at that. So let's see what that jumps him up to. What did he start at? Do y'all remember what he started at? I forgot to write it down. I'm a stupid idiot. What did Mookie Betts start at? Because he's now... Where'd he go? He's an 86. Did he even go up? Or did the cut that I gave him not even upgrade him? What did he start at? What's he at right now? An 85? Is he just staying at 86? So I guess it's not really an upgrade. Maybe I should have tested that one. That's still how I feel, though. So I don't really have a Mookie upgrade just yet, then. Oh, I didn't save the changes. Right? That's not what I put, is it? No, that's why. I'm a stupid idiot, guys. God, I'm dumb. I'm so stupid. Hope you guys are laughing at me. I did not save my changes. God damn it. 63. There we go. 88. Okay. So it is an upgrade. It's just a 2-point upgrade. So don't spend $5 million on him. Moose, what's going on? Doing all right, man. We're 6-0 in BR. We just pulled a Cole Hamels. We were a little bit dickish. We timed somebody out, but rule's in there because it's a rule, right? And I've been timed out in a game like that before. I'm not sweating it. So anyway, we go 86 to 88 here. Again, if you hate this team, if you hate the Red Sox, says it's not going to go well for you for the next few minutes because we've got 2 more guys, and they just so happen to be right here. Xander Bogaerts is next up. Xander fucking Bogaerts. And he is due some upgrades as well. Let's start with his contact versus righties. I got a 5-point upgrade to 88. He's got a 337 average against righties right now. He's gone up every single year, and he has a great strikeout percentage. Honestly, it could be up in the 90s. But I'm going to go 88. I'm being a little bit more conservative this week. I understand, I've been a little bit higher in the past, and now I'm balancing it out a little bit. I'm trying to figure it out. I wrote this one down. Thank you, Malcolm. I wrote down that he and I'll just spoil it. Ortiz is the next one. They're both 87, so I got that written down. All right, next up is I got his discipline going up, just to 57. And it's because his walk rate is up to a career best 8%. It was 5% last year. 8% solid. For a guy who makes this much contact, he doesn't need a huge walk rate. But anytime, he controls the plate. So honestly, the discipline, if they were judging off the raw skill and not just the numbers, he could be like a 70 discipline. I think he knows that much of what he's doing, but he jumps on pitches, and so he doesn't necessarily get into deep counts because he's up there hitting. I got his contact versus lefties all the way up to 99. He should be up there. He's hitting 444 against them this year. He killed them last year. I mean, the dude just smokes lefties. I think it deserves the 99, at least like a 97 though. His power versus lefties, I got up to 55. He's got 2 homers and 31 plate appearances against them this year. That's a 297 ISO. Remember, I told you 200 is good. Is great, really. So 297 is monstrous. He only had 2 homers in 173 plate appearances against lefties last year. So he's matched it up in 31 plate appearances. Honestly, 55 might be low, but let's start off a little bit slow here and just go with that. Thanks, Josh. What's going on, Eric? Yeah, I do think he can strike out some Cubs, but I think he'll be better. But I would not want to use him against the Cubs necessarily. All right, I got his speed and his stealing going up as well. Speed up to 70. Stealing, where's stealing? Stealing up to 60. So I got 10-point gains for both of those. Dude's been a monster on the bases. He has a 72% extra base taken rate, which is just going, first to third, second to home. They're judging that based on how many opportunities you have and how often you do it. And the league average is like 48%. He's up at 72% this year. Plus, he's 7 for 9 in stolen bases. He had 10 all of last year. So it needs a healthy boost. Now, let's see what this does. 87 to 91. So he's bumping up against that big barrier at that point. All of a sudden, Bogaerts would be then pushing right up against Diamond. Eric, I had a terrible night as well. All right, next up is David Ortiz. This is the last Red Sox, I promise. Sorry for those of you that hate them. I don't really hate them anymore because they're not. They haven't won in a couple of years, but yeah. I don't love them either. I don't love the Yankees either. You know why I don't like those teams? Because they're good. And when they're good, you hate them. All right. Contact versus lefties has to go up here. I'm going 72, 10-point gain. He's got a 324 average against them this year. He does have a 409 batting average on balls in play, which is a little bit, it's pretty high, especially for a guy with no speed. We'll get to that in a minute. So it's going to come down, but he's also lacing the ball. He really doesn't struggle quite as much against lefties as he used to. So I think he deserves an upgrade. 72 is healthy. And honestly, I think that they could fudge it a little bit and maybe give him a little bit extra, err on the side of being liberal with his hitting upgrades because his defense is so bad, because his speed is so bad. Make him a little bit cushier with the hitting, since we are going to take a hit on defense to try to even use him. His contact versus righties contact versus righties 99. He's got a 338 average against them. He absolutely decimates righties. I think his power needs to be 99 as well. I honestly think David Ortiz at this point is playing like a 99-99 against right-handers. He's got 13 homers against right-handers this year. It's a 400 ISO. In fact, I put 400 plus in here because I don't have an exact figure because he hit a home run against another right-hander tonight. So he's over 400 with his ISO. The dude's been excellent. The track record is there as well. Might feel aggressive, but he's playing like a 99-99 player right now against right-handers. There's no doubt about it. I also think that his speed needs a little bit of an upgrade. He should at least be as fast as Adrian Gonzalez. I know that doesn't really move the needle, but at 1 is unfair. His extra base taken rate is up, and he has a stolen base, y'all. He has a stolen base. His strikeouts, plate vision, which controls strikeouts, he's got a 15% strikeout rate and a 335 average right now. Do y'all understand what it is for a slugger like David Ortiz to have a 15% strikeout rate? Remember when I told you that 20% area is where a lot of guys live? Or anything below 20% is pretty good. A lot of them live in the 25% range. A slugger like Poppy can get away with like 28, pushing 30 because they're doing so much. Like Chris Davis, I think, has like a 28% strikeout rate. It is so impressive for him to have a 15% strikeout rate. I contemplated moving this up to like 90, but I don't think they'll ever do it. He does have a history of strikeouts prior to this year, so this 2 months is probably not going to be enough to get him, all the way up there. But it's something to keep an eye on too. I don't know if you can get him to diamond given his defense and speed, but let's see what this does. He went from 87 to 92. He actually went ahead of Xander Bogaerts. I'm sorry, Monkey. That's annoying. What's up, Gunnar Matthews? Thank you for the follow. All right, now moving off of the Red Sox to the National League. Let's go over here. Whoops, I suck with that thing, so I just try to get in the general range. And then we're coming over to Adam Duvall. If you guys play FanDuel, then or DraftKings, you probably already know about him right now because they were just in Colorado. And so, wait, where the fuck is he? Did the roster reset for some reason? Or am I not using the right one? What the fudge? Where's Adam gone? Where's Adam? Anyway, yeah, they were just in Coors. Oh, there he is. 69. Dang, I didn't think he'd be that low. Okay. Patriot Rob, thank you for the follow. Yo, Monkey, we'll get to that in a minute, bud. I can see it, Brizzo. I could see Poppy coming back. So Adam Duvall has been a power masher coming up to the league this year, really making an impact, getting a lot of playing time on the Reds. He was a sneak tip little power source at the end of last year, too, that I remembered from fantasy because I actually wrote a little bit about him. So this is a guy who's been on my radar, and I've been keeping an eye on him because when he gets inside edge, it really boosts him. Anyway, he needs to get his actual rates boosted big time. 88 power against righties is what we need at this point. He's got 11 homers and a 339 ISO. That is the third best ISO in baseball against righties, and he's a right-hander, y'all. So he's a righty destroyer. He's someone you can really use off your bench, especially if you're trying to build a budget team. I also think his power against lefties is ready to go up. He actually has struggled against lefties in his short major league career, but he only had 61 plate appearances. It's definitely not enough to really get a read on anything, but it's been bad, so that's why his ratings are bad. That's all they have to go off of. But he's already got 2 homers this year. He had 1 in those 61 plate appearances last year, so he's already shown more power against them. His contact versus lefties needs to go up as well. I got that going up to a 55. He's hitting 281 against them. And so that's really sharp. Again, he's looked a lot sharper against lefties this year, and so I think he deserves an upgrade there. And then all of a sudden, with inside edge, he could be a full-time player. Now, the tough part is, his left field. You could probably find a better left fielder, but, you get those BR teams, I think that's where it could really change. Now, I didn't do anything else. That was it. But I think it's enough to give him a pretty substantial boost from the 69 that he was at. Let's see where that takes Adam Duvall, up to a 74. So unfortunately, that still doesn't get him, right? That's you got to be 78 for silver. So that didn't quite even get him to silver. Maybe they'll be super aggressive on him. I don't know, but they need to upgrade. And honestly, with inside, even without inside edge, this is a good bronze pick because look, he plays all 4 corner positions, left, right, first, and third, and so that definitely helps as well. Problem is, he still has a dog shit on base percentage. He still strikes out a lot, so he's really selling out for the power. So it was tough to give him a ton of stuff. But yeah, that ended up being a really good trade for the Reds. They gave Mike Leake last year, and this is what you do with those deadline deals for guys that aren't great, because like Mike Leake is not a game changer, but you try to get somebody with a pulse who can do a little something with some playing time. That's exactly what he's doing. All right, Takor, thanks for coming by. You about to start streaming yourself? All right, we're plowing through here. We got 3 more guys. Let's move back to the American League and head over to Cleveland for another low guy who I'm not even sure where he's going to be, probably in the 60s as well. Jose Ramirez, another guy y'all might be familiar with if you play fantasy. Oh, he's a 66 right now. So he's getting he's a common. He's getting a massive upgrade from me. Actually, he's getting flat 10s everywhere, actually, except for contact versus lefties. So do this to 64. This only goes up to 2 points. That goes up to 50. And that goes up to 47. Still not great, but I just don't know how much they're going to do right away. Oh, legit Rhino. ISO is the slugging percentage minus batting average. It's a quick way to get the singles out of the, remove singles and get an idea of their power. And by the way, the suspension to Marlon Burr, which they're just showing here on Quick Pitch, is going to benefit this guy because he's playing some outfield, and so he's going to get a chance to show if any of this is real right now because he's really come out and done some things, shown a little pop, a little bit of speed, kind of a utility guy. He's going to have some middle infield eligibility, I think, as well. He's got a great strikeout rate, down to 9% this year. Career is 11%, so I'm moving his vision up to 90. And so like 10s across the board except for contact versus lefties, and a 90. This should at least get him into bronze, obviously. But let's see. It's not going to be enough for silver. But I just want to see where we're at with Jose Ramirez. 72. So he's got middle infield eligibility as well. Again, this is more of a BR pick. You need some inside edge, and then maybe it's a bench bat on a very beginning team if you're really just kind of getting started. Otherwise, again, BR ideally would be on a what's it called? On an inside edge boost. I'm not sure, UCLA fan. We're going to keep going here. We got 2 more guys, then we're going to get back into that BR. We're going to play it by ear. Probably around 2:30, 3 o'clock my time. Let's call it 3, so at least an hour and 15. All right, 2 more guys. And then we're going to get back into that BR. Now we're going with one from my team. I'm not going to do one from the Tigers every week, but we happen to do 2 in a row with Kinsler and Victor, but they deserve it. Let's be real. Y'all can call me out if you don't agree with them, but I think I can make the strong case. All right, let's see what he was. Victor is an 80 right now. Let's see what we get him up to. Now, he's raking, man. He's honestly looking a lot like the 2014 version right now. His base is under him, and that's the big deal. These have been knee injuries. These have been lower half injuries, and they sap your power, guys. If you got to get so much out of your legs. That's why it's not always about size. And you see guys like Dustin Pedroia can hit 15 bombs, Jose Altuve. They get so much power out of their legs. And when you don't have your base, it's so obvious. Go look at Jay Bruce's year from a couple years ago when he was really, really bad. He had that big knee injury, and he told Eno, he's like, I didn't have my base. I didn't have it all year. And it was obvious. You'll know, man. You'll know. You can just see it out of a power guy. All right, contact versus righties going up to 85. Honestly, it could go higher. Again, I am playing a little bit more conservatively. It's 362 average and 11% strikeout rate. I'll reiterate one more time. 20% is solid these days. Anything in the teens is really good. To be at 11% is elite. He was excellent in 13 and 14 as well, 2013, 2014. Last year, obviously, he struggled a bit. You know, if they're smart and they look at it and they say, okay, we can still give this 2015 some weight because it was there. That's fine. But to give it like full weight, I think is a bad idea because it was a different player. He was very clearly injured. Let's move over to his power versus righties. I got that up to a 70. That's a pretty substantial upgrade. But again, he's really gotten back to the 2014 level when he was a monster. He's got 7 homers against righties already. By the way, no upgrades against the lefties right now. I think the 94 and 62 is suitable for what he's got going. I got the plate vision up to 97 even. Just 3 more ticks. Just why not? Honestly, it probably should be a flat 99. But I think he's got the 7th best strikeout rate in the league this year. And I believe he should match Nori Aoki, and I think Nori Aoki's a 97 because those two over the last 3 years are like 1 and 2 in strikeout rate. Avid, come on. Tin Cup, I don't know, man. If they ever wanted me to help, I would obviously be beyond fucking blessed and totally offer to help. All right, let's see what this does for Victor. Boom, let's go, gold. And I think it's deserving. I really do. And then look at this card, man. And if you get this card on Inside Edge, and he always goes Inside Edge. All the time because he's a switch hitter, y'all. And so he's got so many favorable matchups, and his history is so rich, and that's what a lot of that Inside Edge is based off of, that it's a great card to have. It's tough because the defense is so bad, even at first base. It's almost, same kind of can be said for Poppy. But man, even as a bench bat, you're going to get hits. Obviously, I mentioned earlier, pinch hitting, you take a 10% discount in real life, but this is not real life. The guys aren't going to necessarily be cold. I don't think that they have a pinch hitting penalty in this game. So you're still getting just such a premium hitter. And if you've got bench speed with Victor, you get the hit with him in the 9th inning of a DD game or something, you bring out your speed guy, and you are off and running. All right, our last guy was mentioned by Monkey earlier, Probus Monkey. Wanted to see one of his guys boosted, and I agree. Wilson Ramos deserves a boost. And you know what, guys? We can take any friggin' boost they'll give us at catcher this year. Catcher's been so brutal. I've had a really hard time feeling comfortable with anyone behind the dish this year. How have you guys felt? Who have you used? Who have you had success with? Who do you feel good about? I know we're all looking forward to that Mauer in the summer. 99 flashback. All right, so he's a 72 right now. All right, so his contact versus righties, I got 10-point boost up to 67. He's got a 333 average against them, 14% strikeout rate. Another one of these catchers who can really hit the ball, bat to ball. Plate vision, I got up to a 78, 5-point tick. His contact versus lefties, 80. Another 10-point boost here. This is him getting back on track. Honestly, he's always beasted against lefties, except I think last year he fell off against them. When you get these small samples, a little bit of bad luck can send you the wrong way, but it still has to count, So they weighed it in there. But he's got a 300 average and a 3% strikeout rate. He's putting everything on the ball against lefties. Lucroy, bench. Yogi, Posey. Yeah, I'm not so good with Posey. That's the problem. Hey, Lamb, how you doing? All right, and then power versus lefties is up to 10 points to a 64. He's got 3 homers and a 300-plus ISO. I believe he hit one again tonight. He had 4 homers all of last year with a 144 ISO. 144 ISO is like, it's passable for catcher because they have a lower threshold to be offensively impactful because of what they're able to do behind the dish. But 144 is bad. 300 plus, obviously very good. Adam Morgan was his victim tonight. All right, let's see what this does. We had him going from a 72 up to a 75. So not quite yet for the bronze, but usable. The problem is it's such a bad defensive catcher that do you necessarily want to use him? But that bat's not too bad. Maybe your backup catcher in BR, something like that. So those are my guys tonight. That's 7 of them. I could do more. I saw Marcos. You mentioned Jake Lamb, Chris Owings. There's always other candidates. I usually have a list of like 12 to 15. I can't do them all though. It would be a pretty large part of the stream, and I know not everybody even loves this. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you got some ideas on some guys that you might be interested in, and then we'll see on Friday how it does.